If I can go on to your story a little bit and get younger, I was dancing in a movie called Latin Lovers with Lana Turner and Ricardo Montalban. 6 guys, 6 girls in the particular number. The first day on the set, of course, Lana Turner comes in and Ricardo Montalban comes in. I mean, this has got to be middle 50s or something like that. Ricardo, the assistant director, the dance director, introduces Ricardo Montalban to the 6, to almost 12, 6 guys, 6 girls. I swear to God, the next morning when Ricardo came on the set, he called us all by our first name. Wow. And I said to myself, I said, if I ever do anything in this business, I want to be like this man and treat people that way. And I thought it was unbelievable. That's something that has stayed with me all my life.
Absolutely.
He and Dan Marie.
Well, it's interesting, you picked 2 particular people that you would really think of, especially Dan Duryea, who I really enjoy watching.
Yeah.
But he tends to play the kind of dirty, slimy guys.
Yeah, he sure
a lot
wasn't.
of the time.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know that that's not the real man. Now, you know.
And Ricardo was the gentleman of all time.
Yeah. Rich Corinthian leather.
That's you, Charlie. He knows.
All right, we got a. Let's see. Tony, do you have a question back there?
Yeah, no, how your head was.
How what?
Your head is.
How my head is?
Yes, okay.
It's fine.
No, I've got a question. For Robert.
I guess they'd be about the same, wouldn't they?
You made a lot of westerns. You never made a spaghetti western, and I kind of would never talked about this. But I wondered, in principle, what you thought about spaghetti westerns. Would you have ever considered making a western, a true spaghetti western?
What do I think about them?
Yeah.
Well, the only really spaghetti westerns that were any good were the first 2 that Clint did.
Yeah.
You know, that I consider any type of thing. You know, I think it was fabulous that Italy and Spain, they just love the westerns. I mean, how lucky could we be as western actors that the genre went that big across the world? But those, you know, some of those pictures were ridiculous. Great.
Oh yeah, Once Upon a Time.
Clint made them pretty real. Yeah.
One of my favorites, Once Upon a Time in the West.
Oh no, wait a minute. Now that was a good one too.
Yeah. When you see Fonda, have you all seen Once Upon a Time in the West? When you see Fonda with those blue eyes, you know,
and Charlie Bronson.
And Charlie, yeah.
You know, he made brown contacts to
But
wear.
there was only a few, but they made 1,000.
Did you know
They were
Fonda?
turning them out weekly.
He actually, when he found out he was going to play the bad guy, he had brown contacts made. And the director said, no, we want to see those blue eyes.
Yeah.
So if you remember in the movie, that camera comes right
Well,
in.
you know, Sergio Leone and those guys, they shot your shots up, like this, which we never did in our business.
That's
which
a real
is kind of
process.
interesting, different, totally different.
You shot in Spain, though. Yeah, I mean.
Well, we shot the Return of the
Yeah, but you didn't have any problem with that.
Was
Yeah,
an American made film.
Yes, sir.
I just want to, I do have all 16 episodes of High Mountain Rangers, but
I've never found a copy.
oh, I found it online. Someone
Really?
recorded it off of, put it on DVD. But I understand you didn't like, especially working for Emergency, but they said Jack Webb, what did Jack Webb do to convince you to be on Emergency?
You say I didn't like working on it?
Well, no, I heard that you didn't like working
Oh,
on
no,
it.
I didn't want to do it.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's heard this story, but I'll tell it very, very quickly. In 1971, I was waiting for another Western to do, and there were no Westerns. And Jack Webb had seen a movie of mine called The Hard Ride, motorcycle picture where I played a Marine. And anyway, Jack decided that he wanted me to be Dr. Brackett in a series called Emergency. And my agent said, I want you to go in and talk to Jack Webb. And I said, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be in the show. I don't want to do a medical. And I went in and I talked to him and I said, I don't want to do your show. He said, shut up and sit down. And consequently, you did a show for 8 seasons called Emergency. Yes, everybody's heard that story.
Yeah. It's a good story.
It is a good
It's a good
It goes forever.
Right here.
Have any of you ever worked with Anne Francis and saw what was she like?
And
I've never worked with Annie, but I've danced with her. I love Annie. No, she's a great gal. She was, really.
Yeah.
Very, very super lady. I wished I could have done a movie with her. She was a fine actress and a lot of fun. Trust me.
We have a story here. We have a story to tell.
We really don't want to go there.
Don't go that far.
Yeah, okay.
Just
All
a
right.
fun gal.
But you did have Jocelyn Lane there in the film, so.
Get out.
Okay, yes, question.
What was it like working with Spring Byington?
Oh, it's Spring Byington. Does everybody know who Spring Byington is?
If you know December Bride,
I think she came on the show in the third season
yeah.
of Laramie. And you're talking about December Bride, but she
Yes,
also
well,
worked
she
in
was
silent
right.
movies.
Right, that's right.
This woman worked in silent films, Spring Byington. And when John Champion said to Smitty and myself, he said, well, he said, we're going to start the third season and we're bringing in a couple of new people. Dennis Holmes, a young little boy, he's 11 years old or something like that, and Spring Byington. And Smitty and I looked at each other. I said, Spring Byington, she's still alive? And I thought, my God, how could we work with this woman? This is a lady that's been in silent films, one of the grand noms of all times in the motion picture business, of course. And we thought, boy, we're going to have to clean our act up. There'll be no swearing on the set. There'll be no, well, she outswore all of us. I mean, Spring Byington took over that set and had more fun with Smitty and myself, adopted the two of us, and we got along so good and had fun with this lady like you wouldn't believe. And then with Dennis, of course, you've heard my great stories about Dennis Holmes. He was such a
Wow,
kid.
I'll never look at Lily again.
Oh, no, I
Since
tell
December
you,
Bride.
Spring was
Yeah.
a delight to work with, and just loved Smitty and myself.
How about Hoagy Carmichael?
Well, you know, Hoagy, that was the first season. He only lasted a season. Hoagy lived in Palm Springs, and he commuted to work. That's 60, 70 miles every day, back and forth. And he'd have a 7:30 call, and he lived on the 9th hole of the Thunderbird Golf Course, which is Frank Sinatra's big golf course down there. I mean, you walk out his backyard, and there's the 9th hole. Beautiful, beautiful home. You ring his doorbell, and it plays Stardust.
You didn't play Buttermilk Sky?
But we would go, we'd have a 7:30 for 8 in the morning. We'd be there, Smitty and I'd be dressed on the set at 8 o'clock, 8:30, nobody, 9 o'clock, nobody. And somebody, finally the assistant director would call down to Palm Springs to his maid or his secretary, and she'd say, oh yes, he's here, but he's on the 9th hole playing right now. And they'd say, but he's supposed to be here working. And he'd get on the phone and say, oh, I know, I forgot I had a call. He's got to drive 60 miles to come to work. So, I mean, he just messed us up. All the time we sat in front of let him go at the end of the first season.
He was doing that all the time.
Oh, all the time. He never forgot when he was supposed to be to work. He was playing golf. Oh, yeah. But he was something, my God, to work with Hoagy Carmichael. I mean, what a fabulous
Yeah, yeah.
What a career that guy had. He was pretty wild. It was interesting.
I'll bet he was. Yes, sir.
Barbara Stanwyck was known as the hardest working actress in Hollywood up to this point, and judging from your talk about positive role models in Hollywood. Do any of you have a story about Barbara Stanwyck?
Boy, I do.
Let me guess, you can't tell us that one.
I love Missy. Missy, we call her Missy. She was a semi-regular on Wagon Train. She played Chris Hale's sort of on the side love interest, whatever. But the very, very first time that Barbara came on the show as one of those guest parts. I was, you know, the co-star of the show. And I hadn't met her yet. I guess I was 29, I don't know how old I was, but whatever. So anyway, John McIntyre says, come over, I want you to meet Barbara. So he takes me over to Barbara Stanwyck, who is just the most stunning woman in the world. You know, she really is. And of course, you know who Barbara Stanwyck is. You go crazy. So I walked up and he said, Barbara, he says, this is Bob Fuller playing Coop on the show. And she took my hand and she looked at me and she said, are you married? And I said, yes. And she said, pity. And my heart went out. But
So,
she was a sweetheart.
do you have a
Yes,
rest of the story?
Of course I did.
Do you have a rest of the story to that?
No. I was married.
And now you know.
And now you know the rest of the story. No, I was married. It's Hollywood. Yes, okay.
I would like to know, Mr. Fuller, if you were ever...
Who am I?
Hey, Bob.
Thank
Did you
you.
ever do any competition with shooting, fast draw, anything like that?
Oh yeah, we did a lot of the cult stuff in Las Vegas together. Clint, Eastwood, myself, Peter Brown, a few of us would go down there for those cult things and shoot a little bit. Yeah, we did fast draw stuff. Yeah.
Any actual competition where you might have...
Well, when you say actual shooting each other for
Like
real. Well, I'll tell you the story. Hugh O'Brien claimed to be the fastest gun in the West, which he was not. But he claimed to be. And Audie Murphy was pretty good with a gun. And there was a big thing going on in Hollywood in the 50s about who was quicker. The two of them, whatever. So anyway, Hugh said, went to the newspaper and he said, I'd like to do it on film. I'd like to draw against Audie. And they went to Audie and they said, Audie, Hugh O'Brien says he's faster than you. Would like to have a contest. And Audie Murphy said, fine by me, live ammo. Never heard from you again.
Question, yes ma'am.